Yo, what's going on, guys? My name is Caleb. Wait. Oh, there you guys are. Sorry. Hey, guys. My name's Caleb, and today I am back with another reaction video. So today we're gonna be reacting to, 14 more horror stories animated by this is by Mr. Nightmare, but this is the channel's in this guy Lame Arts or whatever. And yeah, I heard it's gonna be really scary. I hope you guys enjoy this reaction and everything, or don't enjoy it because it's really scary. All right, well anyhow, so let's get started, shall we? All right, put this on full screen. Oh, sorry. All right, and begin. All right, True Piece of Delivery, Horror Stories number 3.
I was out doing a delivery one late night.
Oh damn, he's doing a late pizza delivery.
Ever taken for a pizza delivery. From the pizza place I worked at, it was a 20-minute drive,
Pizza.
which isn't too crazy out where I live.
I'm guessing Super Mario
Plus, they
owns a
ordered
pizza
4
place.
large pies, so I figured
No,
there was a
really,
party
just
and I would get a much bigger tip.
Oh shit, you will.
Navigating the dirt roads at night was always annoying, though. I pulled up to the given address. It was some old, sketchy-looking building, literally in the middle of a forest clearing. There were no cars parked anywhere, or
No, that's
any
weird.
lights on.
Why would a house be parked? I
asked him to reread
sorry,
the address at least 3 times.
Why would they put a house all the way in the forest? That's weird.
I could tell he was in a really bitchy mood.
Of course, he had a long day
today. Knock on the door and check it out. He would normally get mad if we took back 1 pie, but I was afraid of what he would do if I brought back 4. I was insanely unnerved, but got out anyway and forced myself to the front door of the building.
Just do it.
There was no doorbell, so I just knocked really hard. I heard nothing and didn't really expect to hear anything. I was extremely disappointed, not because nobody answered the door, but because
I'm guessing no one's here. Maybe they don't want pizza after all.
Guess. I knocked 1 more time out of desperation, and then began to hear some kind of rustling noises from inside of the building.
I guess no one's pizza after all. No, I'm just kidding.
I knocked again and yelled that I was the pizza guy.
Yeah, I was kidding the first time I said
silence
about that joke where no one
I felt a bit more uncomfortable now than before. But before I could turn around, I noticed something at the window. There was someone looking through the window.
Wait, what?
I couldn't tell if it was a man or a woman.
What? What is that?
I noticed were their eyes.
Oh my god, how can eyes be glowing?
Staring intently at me. I was disturbed.
That's scary. Get out of here!
And ran back to my car.
Get the fuck out of here!
Turning the key for the 3rd time. I drove off the grass and back onto
there it is. Yes, still looking,
still looking. I felt the car rocking about,
how can
shaking and
eyes
bumping.
glow? That's weird.
Something wasn't right. I didn't make it far from the building before I started hearing a sharp scraping sound coming from outside.
I think
there was so much resistance.
I think maybe something's wrong with his tires.
The car came to a stop. I got out of the car to check what the hell was wrong. A chill ran up my spine as I began to feel like my heart was constantly skipping beats. My tires
I was right, the tires are
and had completely
screwed.
fallen off the rim. Not just the front though. All 4 tires were slashed. I realized somebody did this when I was knocking on the door to that building.
I think it was that person who did it.
I got back in the car and locked the doors. I was so close to that building, I could
you should lock the trunk.
see it from where I was, if it weren't for the trees blocking the view. I dialed 911 and explained everything to the operator. She told me the cops would be over as soon as possible and that I need to stay hidden. I asked her if it was advisable to stay in the car or run, and she told me
that an iPhone he's using?
It would be best to stay in the car with the door locked.
Oh, that's right. He first started his videos in 2014.
My whole
so
body
he does have
was
an
shaking.
iPhone, of course.
In all directions, there was nothing but dark, seemingly endless forest.
I know, this is terrible.
I knew it would take forever for the cops to get there. I was not comfortable with sitting in that car so close to whoever did this.
I'm not comfortable with you
The
doing
next
this.
part, though, is what utterly destroyed me.
What
It still
destroyed them?
shakes me to this day, and I hope nobody ever has to experience this kind of fear. As I was scanning all the windows, making sure nobody was outside, I looked in the rearview mirror, and there was the same person. The
Oh
same
my God.
person I saw at that window.
Oh my God, no, not again. Not the eyes.
Open wider than ever.
No.
I could see now.
Oh my
It was a
God!
woman.
Yeah,
I
it's a
could ever
woman.
so slightly see a smile.
Oh my
across her
God, no, I
face.
can't look. I can't look.
I opened my door
Okay,
and
it's
full on
over.
sprinted into the woods.
That was so
Not caring how much noise I
scary.
made. I ran
That was-
until I was out of breath, which
So there was a
didn't take long,
woman there.
and I hid behind a giant
I don't think that was a
hand.
woman.
I tried to cover my loud breathing
I
with my
think-
hand as
I
I
think that was
waited
some type of drunk woman.
for what
Saw
felt
the
like
weird
hours
stuff.
until I finally heard sirens in the distance.
Oh good, the cops are here finally. Oh
I
boy.
gathered up all the stamina I had
That was-
left to run all
wow.
the way
I never
back
seen
in the
eyes glow
direction
like
of the
that. It's
dirt
weird.
road. Eventually, the glowing red and blue lights came into view, and I had never felt better in my life.
Of course
They
you
were
haven't.
parked in
Oh, I
front of
saw
my
the house
car,
again.
investigating with flashlights. I came out yelling at them like a lunatic to help me. I fell to the floor and started to gag, almost throwing up from running so much. They
How
picked
can
me
you
up and
gag
began
from
to
yelling,
question me.
running
First,
so
I
much?
explained everything to the best
Oh,
of my
weird.
ability. One of the two cars drove over to the building.
Oh, no,
and
don't
two
go in that
officers
house.
began to search the building.
Oh, of course they are.
They came back with nothing except
You
for
should
a
brought
couple
the
of
SWAT
spiky
team.
objects. These objects were exactly the same as the ones used to
You
slash
should
my
brought a
tires.
SWAT team to help them.
The cops guessed that it was some kind of sick, demented couple, being that I saw the woman, but unfortunately they were never found, and that still kills me to this day.
Of course it does.
I obviously quit my job
Oh,
right
good, you
after
quit.
that and started working at a local grocery store. I know that I'll never forget seeing that woman at the back of my car.
I'll never forget that either. Oh, there she is! I just saw her. I just saw her. How did she get there? What advertise? No advertisements. No. Alright, here we go. Alright, true Home Alone stories. Alright,
I recently moved out, and I already have a horror story
which is
to
number
tell.
3.
The house I moved into
Alright,
isn't
so
anything
far the guy
impressive. It's
was a
just
pizza
house
delivery
that's
guy
appropriate for
and
one
then
or two
sees
people.
a drunk ass
I'd say
woman.
right away,
Of course.
I started hearing weird sounds coming from inside the walls. I first heard it in the kitchen, and then in the bathroom, but on night 3, I started hearing it
night
in my
3?
bedroom. I was sure there was some kind of animal living in my walls. I just had to figure out how to get rid of it. The next morning, I didn't even have enough milk to fill the bowl of cereal. I couldn't believe I hadn't realized I needed more milk. In fact, I seemed to be
Because
eating up
everyone
all
needs
of my
milk.
food pretty fast. I woke up in the middle of that night to the sound of breathing. Not my breathing.
Oh no, who's
It
that?
sounded just like the breathing of a person. I flipped the lamp on and it stopped. I chalked it up as my mind playing tricks on me after waking up. The next day was really hot, so I turned on the AC for the first time. I checked every single
Course, it's
vent, and some
broiling
of them
hot.
weren't blowing any air. One of them being the vent right next to my bed. I peered through the vent with a
Oh
flashlight.
no, don't look through the vent. Oh, he's
There
looking
wasn't
through
even
the
a
vent.
duct behind the vent. It was just the inside of the wall. It seemed
there's
that whatever
nothing.
air duct was in there had been removed. Unfortunately, I didn't look into the air conditioning system while buying the house, so I didn't know about this. That night, I had to sleep in the heat with no AC, so I was up pretty late, constantly rolling around and flipping the pillow over. Then I eventually started to hear the breathing again, but this time I was fully awake. I knew it was real this time. It was coming to my left. I looked
Oh
to
no,
my
it's the
left
same.
at the air vents.
It's the same
was
breathing he
surely coming
heard.
from in there.
Oh no, don't
I
look through
grabbed the
the
flashlight
vent,
again
please.
and shined it in through the vent.
No, please don't look.
I dropped it and screamed.
What?
There was
Why
someone's
scream?
face peering through the cracks of the vents.
Why scream?
The
Oh!
first thing I saw
Oh
were
no!
their eyes,
Oh god!
open wide and glowing.
Again with the glow.
I
Oh,
screamed
okay, I
all the
saw
way
of
down
it.
and out the house.
Again with the glowing eyes. Seriously?
I soon found out there was a crazy, dangerous homeless man.
Oh,
living in the
homeless
walls,
man.
and he had been eating my food ever since I moved in.
Oh, look, there he is. I think that's... Yeah, that's him, the homeless man. Man, that was scary. I gave him the glowing eyes. Oh, man. Alright, true hunting stories. Hunting stories, yeah. Alright, so far a homeless man was carved through the vents.
I was doing some night hog hunting in the woods near my backyard.
Wow.
I was hiding in the tower I built about a decade ago.
Sleeping.
In case anyone's wondering, I of course had a night vision scope attachment. I guess I'm what you would consider a hardcore hunter.
If I see glowing eyes again one more time,
unnecessary story prolonging details, so I'll make this short. And I want everyone to know that though I agree this story sounds far-fetched and crazy, it is nothing but the truth. And I, in a way, actually consider myself lucky that I'll always have such a horrifying story to share. So, while I was sitting in the tower waiting for movement, it finally came. I took aim and found the source. But it wasn't at all a hog, or any kind of animal I was expecting. It was a person. A man wearing all black. Black sweatpants, black shoes, and a black hoodie with the hood over his head.
I guess he's wearing black because everything in the dark is black.
He was dragging a sack behind him. My heart started racing. I was pretty sure I was witnessing this guy trying to bury a body.
Yeah, so that's what I'm wondering, if he's carrying a dead body.
Then he slowed down, and I swear to God, it looked as if he turned his head up to me.
Oh! Oh my God! I knew it! I knew it would be glowing eyes. I knew it.
My boots. Yes, I had a gun. But just
I don't understand how
eyes can glow. Was horrifying.
Oh God!
I lay low,
it's creepy.
praying to God that he hadn't seen me. It wouldn't make sense if he could, though. It's practically pitch black out here, or at least that was my logic.
Oh boy!
Seconds felt like an eternity as I waited for the footsteps and leaves to move elsewhere, but I didn't hear any footsteps. All I heard was the sound of a foot hitting one of the wooden planks on the ladder of the tower.
Oh yeah, he's coming up.
I felt the entire tower vibrate and shake as there were 2 more steps moving up the ladder. At this point, I was asking myself deep down, am I going to be able to shoot someone? But for some reason, whoever was down there decided not to climb all the way up, as I heard them jump back down to the forest ground and began dragging the sack away. I think I stayed frozen like a statue for at least 10 minutes before even peeking over the ledge again. The coast seemed clear. I had to get home and warn the police immediately. I hopped over the ledge and descended down the ladder. I turned on my pocket flashlight, which in hindsight was a stupid move considering the situation, and ran back in the direction of my house.
How was that a stupid move?
I was only able to run for about 10 seconds or so when I heard the rapid, manic footsteps crunching the leaves from behind me.
Oh no, I think that's be him.
I took a look over my shoulder, and there he was, inches away from my face.
No, shoot him! Shoot him!
Shot him in the shoulder.
Okay, well at least you shot him. That could have injured him.
He stopped and screamed in agony, and I took that moment to finish my dash to my house. Again, in hindsight, I should have held him hostage somehow, but that doesn't
You could have shot him in the forehead.
I called the police, who showed up within 15 minutes with a whole search squad, and I led them all into the woods to the exact location where I shot him.
Yeah,
there was a faint yet noticeable blood trail spilled onto the leaves, which led past the body bag, which the cops seized, and eventually right to the maniac, who was hiding under a log next to a tree.
Oh, there he is. Yeah,
he was arrested and tried for the murder of Jin Quinn Sakanaki.
Oh, I thought that was him. No, that's not him.
I don't know the full story behind it, but I do know.
Who was that? Who was that guy?
And I'll also be telling it for the rest of my life.
I killed that person. Weird. Alright, okay.
Here,
oh,
take that.
Another advertisement.
Hey, Dave,
right.
What are you playing? What am I playing? What am I?
Alright, here, let me pause right here. Okay, so far, he was hunting for some animals and stuff. Then he sees the guy wearing everything black and tries, like, kill him or something. Then he gets arrested. And boom, the glowing eyes start again. Oh, man. And I still don't understand how eyes can glow. Boy, oh boy. Alright, continue. Alright, abandoned house at night.
I'll never forget the time me and my brother snuck out past our bedtimes to
they snuck out?
An allegedly haunted house down the block. Yes, I said bedtime, as I was only 10 and my brother Luke was only 12. When
wait, which one is which?
Us, I went to Luke's room, and we took a couple hand-powered flashlights with us and hopped outside through the window. Luckily, his room was on the first floor.
Wait,
Those
which one is
hand-powered
him? Which one is
flashlights
him?
worked by constantly pushing in a little trigger that would create light inside the lens. They were noisy as hell, but they were convenient. Once we were outside, we just walked down the block, and in 2 minutes we were there. It was rumored by all the neighborhood kids and teens that the place was haunted.
Oh no, not that abandoned
Everything
house.
about
No,
it was
no,
creepy.
no.
The older, more antique design of the house, the isolation from the rest of the houses, and the broken windows and rotting wood. It seemed perfect
I wonder how
for a
houses get
horror movie.
abandoned like that.
We went around to the
I don't
backyard.
understand.
This was all my curious and confident brother's idea. I was scared shitless. The door was locked, as expected.
Wait, which one is him? Wait,
I felt a bit of
is it
relief,
him?
thinking we might just go home. But my brother made a shocking move next.
Oh wait.
He grabbed a plank
Oh,
of wood
I think
out of
that's
the
his brother
grass
you're talking
and
about. He
began
said the
smashing
plank.
the already chipped window. Eventually, there was enough.
Okay,
of
so
an opening to
that means
allow it to
that
slide
kid
up
right there is
completely.
him. That kid right there is him.
We hopped inside
That kid
and
wearing the
began
green
cranking those
overalls.
noisy-ass
And that's his brother,
flashlights.
one with the red sweater.
Immediately after entering the house, we both picked up on the fact that it was like 90 degrees in there, which was odd, as
course it
was
was.
a September night
Should
in the
take off his
mid-70s.
sweater.
There was no graffiti or anything anywhere. In fact, it was relatively empty besides
happened
a
to
few
that
pieces
house?
of furniture that were clearly not worth taking along. It seemed we were the first to enter the house, shockingly, or at least from the back. We went upstairs to the main floor from the little den area and continued cranking the flashlights. That's when we heard the slightest crack in the floorboards from right above us.
Oh, someone's in that house.
We both
Or something.
I tugged for Luke to leave, but he told me the place is old as hell. It's just house noises.
No, it's not house
I stopped
noises.
cranking the flashlight at this point, and I urged Luke to do the same, but he only called me stupid for suggesting something so ridiculous. Then there was another crack in the floorboards from above us.
Oh yeah, someone or
We began
something's in
walking
that house.
upstairs. I didn't want to go up there, but
Yeah, don't
I
go
had
up
to
there.
stay down
Don't
there
ignore
alone.
your brother.
I followed behind him to the
Okay,
upstairs.
okay. Now he doesn't ignore him.
There was a door that led to a room right above where we were standing. I begged him not to open it, but he must have just wanted to be the big, tough older brother.
Of course he
He began
does.
to reach for the
Trying to
doorknob
get the
while
ladies.
still cranking the noisy flashlight. But then he stopped. I was confused. I could see in the dark he was moving his ear up against the door, listening for something. Silence.
Of course, there was silence. He heard
Then,
silence.
The most deafening, nightmare-inducing moment of my life.
What happened?
A single bang on the door from the other side sent
Oh!
my brother staggering into the wall in pain,
Oh,
covering his
that
ear.
hurts.
We dropped the flashlights and ran straight out the back door. And
Why
back
would they drop the
home.
flashlights?
We were so loud when we got back that our
Just got
parents
them.
found us out.
Oh
We told them
shit.
what happened, but they naturally didn't care and grounded us both for a week. 2 nights later, I woke to the sound of something from outside my window and a glare of brightness sneaking in through my slightly
Oh, I
open
think
blind.
what must be those flashlights.
I sat up, and my heart sank when I realized it was the sound of the crank to my flashlight. I stood
I
up
think
and
it's
looked
coming
out the
from that
window,
abandoned
and
house.
that's when it stopped. There was nothing but complete blackness out there after that. I woke the next day barely remembering what happened, and I still hope today that that part was just a dream.
Well, I doubt it's not a dream because you were there. This is creepy. Boy. Alright, true Craigslist stories number 2. Alright, okay, hold on. Let me stop right here. Alright, so far, he was 10 years old and his brother was 12. They went to an abandoned house, and then they started to go snooping around there, and then someone or something just, I don't know, just...
This story
hit
took
his
place a
brother's
long
ear.
time ago,
Alright,
back in
continue.
2002, when Craigslist was in its early years.
Oh, that's the year I was born,
Many
2002.
wouldn't know, but back in those days, Craigslist was a lot different.
And they had those
It
old
was a lot more
computers.
so an online garage sale, or just a place where people would list old things that still had some value that they were willing to give away. I got a basketball hoop, a hockey net, and a spoiler for my car, all free in perfect condition in that same year. You'd be lucky if you found something like that these days.
Of course you would.
Anyway, me and my son were dying to buy a hockey net so we could practice in the cul-de-sac we lived in. For the record, this was before I got that free one I mentioned. Wouldn't you know it, on Craigslist there was an ad for a slightly used regulation-size hockey goal for only $50. It came with a puck and 2 slightly used hockey sticks.
What does that say?
I still have a picture of that ad to this day.
Wait,
It
what does
seemed
that
like
mean?
the perfect deal, but he lived
the
about
hell?
2 hours away.
Wait, isn't that
I
the
called the
same
number he had listed,
kid that was
and
his
he
brother,
sounded
or is
pretty
he
normal
the
on
same
the phone.
character?
He had a pretty deep, dark voice, but nothing that would be off-putting. I remember his voice being a bit emotionless. He agreed to meet halfway due to the distance, said he'd put the stuff in the back of his pickup truck. He said he could only come after he got off
Yeah,
from
same
work,
kid,
though,
but
which was much later in the
Actually,
day.
no. What am I saying?
Way
Was
past
different
that.
clothes, same kid.
We agreed
Or
to meet
same
at some
character,
rest
or
stop off
whatever.
the highway. Me and my son, who was 11 at the time, took my wife's minivan, the only car that would be able to fit that huge thing. Within an hour, we were at the truck stop, which was empty at this hour, but was decently lit by 3 big light posts. I parked right under one of the lights and waited. A pickup truck pulled in off the highway right on time. He stopped right in front of me. I went over to his window, but then noticed there was nothing in the back of his truck. You Steve?
I think he was
He
tricked.
asked me.
I think he
Yep,
was
that's
tricked.
I said. Alright, my buddy's bringing in the stuff with his truck.
Okay, never mind. He's bringing
The
them.
guy pulled up behind my car and put it in park. I suddenly had a bad feeling. I told my son to get back in the car and lock every door except mine. 2 more pairs of headlights came off the highway into the lots,
Right.
surely enough, pulling up next to me. And, not surprisingly at this point, there was no hockey equipment in either one of them.
No, I think he's
My
been
heart
tricked.
was racing. I was worried. Not for me, but for my young son who I for some reason brought with me on this trip.
Oh, so you're sacrificing your
A
life?
group of large men mixed with heavy-set and muscular physiques stepped out of the 2 pickup trucks behind the first one. They
I
eyed
think
me
they're
from
bad
head to
guys.
toe,
Yep, they're bad
giving
guys.
that typical intimidation stare down. Then
Like
this
robbers
bald
or
guy
something.
wearing sunglasses said in a deep voice, "Where's the money?" I instantly pulled out my wallet and handed it to him,
It's
begging
in
him
his
to just let
wallet?
me and my son go. He pulled out like $100 and was pissed, expecting more.
Of course
He
he
then
was.
sent 2 of his goons or whatever to get
Oh,
my
I
son.
think they're gonna get his kid.
At this point, I screamed and begged
Wait, he
for
didn't
him
send
not to
2, he
take them.
sent 1.
One of the men broke the glass to the
Oh, no, I
minivan
think they're
back
gonna
door,
take his
and I
son along with
vividly
him,
remember the disturbing, heartbreaking screams of my young son. What happened next was what I can only explain to be a miracle from God answering my prayers.
Oh, let me guess.
A car was
The
entering
cops
the
came.
lot from off the highway. All the men stopped and turned to look at it. As it got closer, my heart literally dropped in excitement as I saw it was a police car.
Yep, I knew it. It was
The
a
light
police
suddenly
car.
began to
It was
flash
a
as
police
he got
car.
close enough to see what was going
But how
on.
did they know?
All of the
Weird.
men were back in their trucks within seconds, speeding off down the highway. Well, at least 2 of them. The truck in the back was caught immediately by the
I
police
see another
car,
police car
and
chasing
backup arrived shortly. I explained everything to them, and they got the men that were caught to rat out on the others surprisingly quickly. I guess luckily the
Is
guys
that
in the
the
back truck weren't
detective
very
trying to do
loyal
some,
to whoever their
like
leader
action
was,
on, like
if they even
serious
had any
action,
type
like
of leader. Believe it or not, I had a police
Nah,
escort all the way home
I'd
to
have
make me
forgot.
and my son feel safer. I don't want to get into all the legal stuff, but I'll just say that all of those men.
Right,
except
wasn't
for
that
one was
scary? It was
caught,
just some normal bad
and I'm
guys
pretty
just
sure that was the driver
being
of the
bad
first
and
pickup
trying
truck.
to kill him, I guess.
Needless to say, my Craigslist days weren't over at that point, but I have always been
They
much
should
more
be, or else
protective
you're
of my
gonna
son
do the same thing like the
and
last
much more
time.
cautious of Craigslist meetings since then.
Alright, okay, so far, alright, what's next? Oh my god, really? Another advertisement?
What is League of Legends? And what
And no one cares. Alright, so far, this guy, well, I mean, he took his son to get some, like, sports equipment or something, and then those guys try to, like, kidnap them or something, and then boom, the cops come, or whatever. Yeah. Which wasn't that scary. Alright, continue. Alright, what's next? Oh, jeez, what the hell? It's weird music. Wait, what'd I say? It said the missing lighthouse keepers. The missing lighthouse keepers. Okay.
There was once an
Yeah,
isolated
sorry, I had to
island
replay it because
with
it was so fast for me to read it.
keepers lived and were responsible for keeping the building intact. One day, when their monthly supply ship
what
dropped
happened?
in, the island was silent. No response
Of course
from the
it's
lighthouse
silent.
keepers. Eventually, the captain and some crew members went to investigate and found a disturbingly empty lighthouse. 2 of the 3 waterproof coats were missing from their hangars.
Yeah,
and
of
the
course,
kitchen
I can
was
tell. I
left in
see
a
one.
state as if people had left in a hurry. The lighthouse log only added more mystery to the situation.
See, from
The
August
log
to
described
December,
how one
the
of the
book said.
keepers wouldn't talk, and the other continuously cried for hours. All this pain and fear seemed to be coming from what was referred to as a powerful storm looming in the distance. However, this begs the question, why were they so scared of a simple storm? They should
I
have
don't
been
know.
safe in the
Maybe they were
brand-new
afraid to get
lighthouse,
struck by
right?
lightning.
The log goes on to talk about how they all sat close together and prayed for the storm to be over. The final log states, "The storm has passed, the skies are calm, and God is over all." Their bodies were never found, and the cause of their
What happened?
death
Were
is
they
still
killed?
a mystery to this day. The most accepted theory is that they somehow got swept out to sea during the storm, never to be seen again. But one final detail remains,
my eye.
one that scared the captain and his crew to the
What's wrong
bone.
with it? Alright.
The powerful
good.
storm described in the log didn't exist.
Of course it
There were
doesn't
no
exist.
storms
Nothing
reported
exists.
in the area.
No, I'm just
In
kidding.
fact, the
Sorry.
skies were calm all day.
That was strange. Alright. So far he was saying something about some 3 guys who were just making a storm be over or something, and they were missing, and all that stuff, and yeah. Alright, well, continue. That was some weird. Alright. Night shift stories at
It was 2
7-Eleven.
years ago. I was called in to do the night shift, 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. at 7-Eleven, since somebody called out.
I wonder why
The
they call
store
it
was located
7-Eleven.
on a busy road in a rather
Just because
quiet
both
and
7-Eleven
rural
both
area.
rhyme doesn't mean you have to call it
During
that.
the night shift, you could
No,
expect
I was
anywhere
just
from
kidding.
10 to 20 people come in to buy a beer or something else. This one particular night, there was this one guy, mid-20s, that came in. He started making weird noises, like loud yelling noises. I assumed he had some kind
hell?
of mental disability. In fact, my brother has a mental disability, so I immediately felt sympathy for the guy.
Oh, his name is Vince.
He walked up to the counter without any items, with his head facing me, but
He forgot
his
to
eyes
tell
were
that
looking up at the
his name is
ceiling.
Vince since it
I
said on
felt
his tag.
uncomfortable. I honestly didn't know how to deal with it.
Oh, is he on
I tried
drugs?
speaking with him, but he only responded in loud noises. I kept checking if he was with someone outside, but he was alone. There weren't any cars in the parking lot, so I assumed he walked. He stood there for so
Why
long,
would he
looking
walk?
up at the ceiling
Wait,
and making
is that why
noises,
he's like this?
that I
'Cause he
tried to get
walked?
him out by handing him a bag of chips and telling him he could go. I tried finding some kind of number to call for someone to help him. Then, out of nowhere, he finally turned around and walked out of the store.
Okay, never mind. He just
I
walks out
felt
the
so
store.
horrible for the man, but at the same time, I felt a bit creeped out. About an hour later, the phone on the counter rang.
I wonder who that could be.
I picked up to hear the familiar yelling sounds of the man from earlier. It caught me off
Oh,
guard.
it's
I
the
didn't know
man
what to
from
think,
earlier.
other than this has to be some kind of prank. I hung up on them.
The
I was
hell's
now
up with
becoming
him?
paranoid of my surroundings.
And of course, the lights
constantly
change after he
checking outside through
realizes.
the windows. Come 4 o'clock, the person working after me came in, finally allowing for me to go home. It wasn't my problem anymore.
Oh,
I got
good.
home and threw all my stuff on the table, ready to get to sleep. But my phone rang within a minute after entering the door. I felt a chill
How come he's
run
not
down my
using
spine.
iPhones?
Why would someone be calling at 4 a.m.?
I have
I
no
could only
idea.
imagine it was bad news. I braced myself and picked up the phone to hear the man again.
Oh no.
I felt
How
sick
does
to my
that happen?
stomach
The
as I
lights
listened
just
to the loud
change like the
noises he made.
darkness. That's a little
I
weird.
struggled to slam the phone to the receiver. All night, I felt like I was being watched, even with all the blinds shut. And I could swear I heard strange noises coming from all over
Oh
my
my
house.
god, my eye. Yeah, sorry about my eye.
I refused to get any sleep
It's a
until
little,
the sun
little
came up.
watery.
Weeks passed, and I had forgotten about the incident. Until one day, when going into the basement for the
Oh
first
no,
time
don't
in a
go
while,
into the basement.
I
Actually,
found
no, you can
papers
go
had
ahead
been
since the lights
scattered
are
all
on.
over the floor. And when I went into the basement closet,
What?
I found writing on the walls.
Writing?
7-Eleven had been written in Sharpie on the wall, along with the address to the 7-Eleven I worked at and my house address.
What is this
The most
about?
disturbing part, I also found various kitchen knives, along with a large
Oh, I
pocket
think
knife sitting in the closet,
I think that guy's about to kill him.
which started out as seemingly just an innocent person, turning into something of a prank, ultimately turned into something much more horrifying. He had been living down there for God knows how long, and I'm just grateful that, for whatever reason, he changed his mind and left, because I haven't seen
Why
or
would he
heard
live
from
down
him
here?
since.
That's weird.
All I can say is that man is dangerously ill.
Of course he is, and he's drunk. Oh, come on! No more advertisements, all right?
You're wasting your
Come
life.
on.
Because
All right. Okay. So far he was at he was working at 7-Eleven. My bad, not 9/11. 7-Eleven. Sorry. Yeah, he was doing that, and then this guy was actually drunk, which he walked, which tired him out or something, and then he was living in the basement. That is really scary. Man, oh man. Okay, alright, well, since this is actually a long video, actually, I'm just gonna pause right here. I'll continue with this, tomorrow. Yeah, sorry, guys. Alright, well, anyhow, I hope you guys enjoyed this, video. Thank you so much for watching. I will make a part 2 starting tomorrow, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace!